What is up guys, it's your boy Solheim here, back with another Classic WoW video for the fresh Classic WoW servers, and today we're talking about making gold. Now, today we're talking about making gold through the lens of investments, so spending gold to make more gold. Now, to do that, you obviously have to have some gold to begin with, either by farming, investing, crafting. You need to have some gold to start really making gold with investments, and for the purpose of that, I have a gold making guide talking all about making gold in the fresh Classic WoW servers, whether you're level 1, level 10, level 60, there's a bunch of ways to make gold. You can start making competitive gold per hour, by the way, at level 20 or level 30, so you don't have to be level 60 to start making real amounts of gold in Classic WoW. Now, once again, if you want to know everything that I know about gold making in Classic WoW, then check out that guide. The link will be in the pinned comment down below. Now, like I said, today we're talking about investing in items in Classic WoW. Let me just drag my chat up here so you don't have to see the chat. Either way, we're talking about investments here, and we're going to do so through the lens of really long-term investments. And for the purpose of that, we're going to talk about TBC investments here. Looking at this roadmap that was given for Classic WoW, you can see the anniversary servers are going to go into the Burning Crusade. Now, they are doing so in the winter/spring time, which is either going to be late 2025 or early 2026, which means we're talking about spending gold now and then getting the rewards or the profit from that roughly about a year from now. So I just want to point out this is not a get-rich-quick scheme, but by playing your cards right here, you can make disgusting amounts of gold by investing for the long term. Now, the first item I want to talk about when it comes to the Burning Crusade investments is this one right here, the Elixir of Demonslaying. This one will be particularly valuable when it comes to Sunwell Plateau, which will be the final raid. It's also slightly usable in Black Temple and various other parts of the Burning Crusade, including the leveling aspect. You might want to have a couple of these ready for when the leveling rush begins in the Burning Crusade as well for certain locations like Shadowmoon Valley and other demon locations. So this one will be usable at the launch, but also when Sunwell Plateau comes out. These are absolutely insane. 265 attack power against the demons specifically, so buying the elixir itself or any of the materials used when it comes to crafting the elixir. One more thing when it comes to the Burning Crusade is that professions are not really being revamped, but they're being further built upon. So certain professions will be more in demand this time than last time, and some people might even change their professions. So over here you have a full list of items required to make, for example, I believe this one is for, you can see here, this is the Aquamarine, Flasks of Mojo, Thorium bars, a bunch of bars, and some ores as well. This is a list of items for jewel crafting, a brand new profession we are getting in the Burning Crusade. Now, here you can see a huge list, by the way. All of these items are really worth looking into, and the cheaper they are compared to the vendor price, the more worth it is to buy these items. This right here is a huge list of like 20 items you can literally put your gold into and get huge amounts of returns. Now, when it comes to jewel crafting, the last time around for OG TBC Classic, we got access to professions in the pre-patch, which means you could get access to jewel crafting, for example, and skill that up to 300 skill before TBC Classic comes out, and the pre-patch could be 1 or even 2 months before the expansion comes out, so you can see profit from this investment right here in 10 to 11 months from me making this video and it being uploaded to YouTube. So this right here could be a semi-short term, I mean, I say semi-short term, it's still almost a year, but you can get the profit before TBC comes out, and you can make disgusting profits here. Referencing back to Classic WoW versus TBC Classic, some items went up over 50 times in price. That is 50x return on investment in about 1 year time. Now, realistically, you will likely get 10 times on most of the items, but they can spike more and you can get less. Next up, you also have the Brilliant Wizard Oil compared to the TBC Classic version of their Wizard Oil as well, where the old Wizard Oil, the Brilliant Wizard Oil from Classic WoW, is actually outperforming the TBC version. As you can see, compare these side to side, you can see the superior one, TBC version, has 6 more spell damage, but is lacking 1% spell critical strike. So the Brilliant Wizard Oil gives you 1% crit at the loss of 6 spell power. To most people, general, this is a good trade. So buying either the Brilliant Wizard oils or the materials to make it can be a very decent investment. And speaking of materials required to make Brilliant Wizard oils, we can talk more about more herbs as well. So Dream Foil, Mountain Silver Sage, and also the, what is the last one called? Not a Dreaming Glory, a Golden Sansam. All of these three will be valuable investments as well, as they are used in the early alchemy craft in TBC. So when it comes to skilling up alchemy, they are used a lot, like Dream Foil, Mountain Silver Sage, and Golden Sansam. And Golden Sansam, by the way, is about 2 silver each right now. They went up to 1 gold each in TBC. That is a 50 times return on investment on a regular herb. That is used a lot, by the way, so you can get a lot of return on investment on that one specifically. Just literally buy Golden Sansams now and sell them in TBC, and then tell me what their price is if you're watching this video, like way down the line. You can also buy the flasks as well from TBC, like the classic WoW flasks could go up in price as well, but that one is a little bit more speculative, as I believe these flasks got nerfed very early in TBC, maybe not phase 1, but definitely by phase 2, so they do get nerfed eventually. Even then, the Distilled Wisdom flask might be better than the Healing flask from TBC. Now, to give you guys some very specific examples at the end here, even though we have gone through a lot of examples already, just like going through them really fast here, I'll be putting a lot of my gold into. First of all, Golden Sansams, they are at the moment very cheap on the auction house, so they are selling for 1 silver, by the way, to the vendor. And once again, they are used in a lot of the early crafts in TBC Classic, when it comes to alchemy crafts and possibly other professions, but I guess not really, but definitely in alchemy. And when it comes to alchemy, I've been talking about passive gold making a lot on this channel, and that is using tailoring plus alchemy and making passive gold on transmute. That is going to keep happening in TBC as well, so not only do people need Golden Sansams for their main, they need them for their alts as well. And like I just said, Golden Sansams are currently selling for about, if I do this right now, they're selling for 1 silver each to the vendor, and they're currently less than 2 silver. They're 1.3 on my auction house. I am going to buy every single one of them, by the way. That is under like 3 silver each at the moment, so I'm just going to buy a lot of these. Either way, like, they have insane potential, but they, once again, these are items you will have to hold for quite a while. Now, the next specific example that I want to give you guys is this one right here. That is going to be the Flask of Mojo. This is something that is currently not really being used for anything in Classic WoW, and it's dropping all the time, especially if you think about mages farming Sulfurak, for example. They're getting these flasks, and if they can get more on the auction house than they can get for vending them, they absolutely will. And these are not sold by any vendors. Like, I'm using the TBC version of Wowhead right now. The only way to get these is by literally farming for them, and they went up to 1 gold each back in TBC, I believe, on many of the servers, and that is because they're used in dual crafting crafts. Like, for example, Aquamarine Signet requires 3 Aquamarines and 4 flasks of Mojo. And also, if you go down to this one, the figurine Black Pearl Panther, it requires 4 black pearls and 4 black mojos, 4 flasks of mojos. This one right here, the figurine True Silver Boar and True Silver Crab, also requires, once again, flasks of mojo. So they're basically just used in skilling up jewel crafting, and 2 of these recipes is used in pretty much every single jewel crafting guide to skill up fast and efficiently. That is going to be the Aquamarine, so this one right here, the Signet, is used quite a lot, and also the Black Pearl Panther. Now, going to the auction house right now to take a look at the price. Once again, they're selling for, if we go to Flask of Mojo here, they are currently selling for 2.5 silver, and guess what the vendor price is? Also 2.5 silver. So by buying these ones right now, the worst thing that happens is that I break even, and best case scenario, we do make some gold. And even if I buy them up to 3 silver each, in which case there are many of them for that price, the worst case, absolute worst case scenario, is that we lose 50 silver, or about 20%, more like 15%, between 15 and 20%. So you lose like, yeah, you lose almost nothing on this investment, and there's a huge potential upside of this material actually going up in price. It has a very big likelihood of going up in price. The only question is how much. But let's just say they go to 30 silver each, which I can see happen, by the way. Then in that case, you have literally 10 times your gold in about a year's time, which for most investors is not bad by any means. Now, one quick side note for the Flask of Mojo is that this is once again farmed in Sulfarak, so lots of mages are still doing Sulfarak, either for leveling or also just for farming gold at level 60, so the supply of this will be constant, and bots are also heavily influxing the market on this material, so what you're basically trying to sell here is a shock value. When TBC pre-patch comes out, a lot of people will need Flasks of Mojos in a very short space, so you want to be the one supplying it during that short space. So take advantage of the pre-patch dropping, people skilling up professions, and use that hype to offload and make more gold. Over time the prices will probably stabilize, but if you use the pre-patch correctly, I believe these can go for like 5 times increased price to 10 times increased price, which once again, that's not bad. Now, the next example that I want to give is the Black Pearl. We already talked about this really quickly, but here we go. This is the Black Pearl and what it's used for. So scrolling up here, you can see Black Pearl. It's found from fishing and opening certain types of clams. Now, over here, this one is used in a lot of crafts we already have access to, but also the figurine for the Black Pearl Panther, and also the Ruby Crown of Restoration, 2 brand new recipes coming with the dual crafting, which will probably heavily influx the price of Black Pearls. Now, going back to OG TBC Classic, if anyone played that, you probably remember roughly what the price was for Black Pearls. I saw them go for between 2 and 5 gold each, and currently they are 10 silver. Now, they are selling or vendoring for 10. So at the moment, if I buy them for 11 silver each, like there's a lot of them listed for under 11, the worst thing that happens is I lose 10%, and the upside is like I can get 10 times, 20 times, 30 times return on this investment if I get lucky. When it comes to investments, for me, it's all about managing the upside versus the downside. In this case, the worst thing happening is me losing 10%. The best thing happening, let's just assume a possible 50-time profit, the best thing then would be like 5,000% profit margins. And the worst thing is minus 10%. To me, that is a no-brainer. Now, at this time, we only have 2 more specific examples that I want to give you guys, and one of those is the Aquamarine, and this one you can see right up here, the material where it's found. It's basically found in fishing, and also it can be dropped like basically anywhere. I see it drop as a regular drop in dungeons, I've seen it drop from mining, it can be dropped from so many places. Either way, this one is used in many different crafts, and if you just look here, am I showing the professions? I almost am. There you go. Here you can see which professions are making or like using them, and you can see jewel crafting number 1, jewel crafting again, down here jewel crafting again, jewel crafting one more time, jewel crafting, jewel crafting. It is used in a bunch of jewel crafting crafts, like the Aquamarine Ward to skill up past 245 is 1 Aquamarine and 1 thorium setting. Over here, 225, it's used in the True Silver Crab figurine. Scrolling up to the start, we also have the Aquamarine Signet, and also the Aquamarine Pendant of the Warrior. Anyone who skilled up jewel crafting in the OG TBC Classic pre-patch, you probably remember how many Aquamarines you want or you need. I'm just going to say it's like 40 plus. So Aquamarine is something you want a lot of when it comes to skilling up jewel crafting, and to me, it's a no-brainer. Once again, we can take a look at a couple of factors here. Number 1, the increased demand coming in TBC itself with jewel crafting coming out, and how many Aquamarines you really want to have to skill up jewel crafting. And then number 2, going back to risk versus reward management. Going to Aquamarine here, it's currently posted for 12.8 silver, and it's vendoring for 10. So worst case scenario here, we lose 25 to 30%. Best case scenario, they can go for like 5 gold each. Now, giving you a more realistic price point, I'm gonna say they could be going to 1.5 or 2 gold each. Even in that case, you are getting about 12 to 20 times profit margins, like 12 to 17 times. So worst case scenario is you lose 30%. Best case scenario, you make about 1,500, like 1,500% profit. Once again, to me, that risk to reward management ratio is a no-brainer, to the point where I'm gonna buy pretty much all of these, and I'm gonna keep buying them as long as they're about 13 silver each, because once again, worst case scenario, I lose 30%, but I really don't think, I think they will go up in price, and once again, they can't really go much lower, can they? Now, this next tip I'm about to give you, the specific example I'm going to give you, is not really for right now, it's for later in Classic WoW, but it's still going to be an investment for TBC, and that is going to be the Nexus Crystals. This is something you can get from Disenchanting Epics in Classic WoW, but I believe it's only from Phase 5 forwards. Now, going back to Classic WoW, even if you had old epics from Phase 3 and Phase 4, they would still give you shards. The only thing is, the epics don't give you shards right now, and they start giving you shards once again, I believe, in Phase 5, but if I'm wrong, then correct me in the comments down below. Now, you can keep old epics in the bank until then and get these shards, or you can simply buy the shards when they are super cheap. And the reason they could become really cheap is they're not really used in that many enchants. Well, they are used in enchants for sure, but the price drops very fast and very early. And in TBC as well, the price usually drops a little bit more at the start, unless people pick up on the possible gold making methods using Nexus Crystals. So you can use a Nexus Crystal in something called a Nexus Transformation. This uses a Nexus Crystal and transforms it into a small prismatic shard, which you get from Disenchanting Blues in TBC. Now, further than that, small prismatic shards can actually be used in, they're reagents in a lot of crafts, by the way, that is number one, but they're also used in making large prismatic shards as well. So you can basically turn 3 Nexus Crystals into a large prismatic shard, which you get from Disenchanting level 70 Blues in TBC itself. Now, going back to the fact that TBC brings with it jewel crafting, any type of ore can be prospected into gems, so literally buying copper ore and holding on to is also a solid choice and a good investment strategy at least, and they are now selling for 66 copper on my server, and I can't wait for TBC's pre-patch to hit, and then me looking back at this video and see what their price is at that point compared to now, because I'm gonna tell you there's no way they stay at 66 copper, so they can also go up in price by quite a huge margin. Same thing goes for iron ore, same thing goes for silver ore, gold ore, you name it, right? A lot of these ores, they can contain very valuable gems, so you can buy a bunch of ores and keep them for TBC, or literally buy the gems as well. You can buy star rubies, you can buy emeralds, you can buy all of those gems that are used in a jewel crafting, and just hold on to those. Or you can do both, buy both the ores and the gems. Either way, that's a long video talking about TBC investments. I just want to say that when it comes to investments, the earlier you start, the more profit you make. To some of you guys, it might sound absolutely absurd to even start thinking about TBC at the moment, but I'm telling you, those who are thinking about TBC right now are the ones that are gonna make dirty amounts of gold when it comes to investing for TBC. If you start investing for TBC in Phase 6, like, it's already kind of too late. It's not really too late, but you'll get dumped on by people that invest now and use you to offload their investment to get their gold back fast, even though you might get more gold as well. Like, let's just put it like this. I can buy black pearls right now for 10 silver. You might buy them for a gold, and they might end up getting to 1.5 gold. I will make a lot of gold, you will also make some gold, but I'll be making the most gold here. So starting investing early is always good if you have any gold to spare. And once again, if you don't have any gold to spare, that is what my gold making guide is there for, talking about how to make gold in Classic WoW, showing you gold farms, crafting for profit, and auction house strategies. Just a lot of gold making information all in one place, so check it out to the link down below. It's a great way to support me and make more gold in Classic WoW. Either way, that's the video for now, so I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any further investments you want to share, then do so in the comments. As always, thank you for watching, I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you again in the next video very soon.